Hey guys, and welcome to today's video. So in this one we are going to be unboxing the Razer Kishi, which is the detachable kind of games controller that clips onto your iPhone. One of the reasons we picked this one up is just because a lot of people have asked us to test out things like Microsoft xCloud and Google Stadia with a physical controller plugged into the iPhone, just to kind of get an idea of latency and input lag and stuff like that. But also as well, it's meant to be a pretty damn premium controller for mobile gaming and stuff like that. So we wanted to unbox it, see how it is, and just kind of get an idea of the feel of the controller. So in this video we're going to be doing unboxing, first impressions of it, and then we're going to have a later video once we've had some good time to play with this, just to kind of do a review on it as well, along with a whole host of different videos for this little device. Be sure to subscribe so you catch those. So let's get on with the unboxing, shall we? Okay, so it comes in this almost like tracing paper to protect it. I don't know if that's an Amazon thing or if that's a Razer thing. It certainly beats them kind of shipping it in that just irritating plastic film that loads of products seem to come in, because it just ends up in the bin all the time. So as always, kind of very Razer aesthetic there. You've got this kind of like the white front they normally have, and this really bright luminous green that they're just so incredibly fond of. The great thing about this is it has a lightning connector in it, so it'll basically clip into the vast majority of your different iPhones, and it's also kind of like extendable as well, so you could use it with one of the smaller iPhones right through to things like the Max iPhones as well. By all accounts, it's a good feeling little controller. It's meant to be decent as well. Again, it reduces that latency as well because it's physically plugged into the iPhone. You don't have to worry about Bluetooth and input lag and stuff like that. So not only for just your general mobile gaming, that'd be really good and handy, but as well, if you are doing a lot of cloud gaming like we've been testing out, for example, it can just help to reduce some of that input lag that you're getting, especially on the likes of Microsoft xCloud, which seems to suffer from it really badly. So it'll be interesting to see how much of an impact this makes. Okay, so let's get in there and see. Wow, this is me absolutely failing at unboxing. So they normally have these like satisfying, oh, there's another sticker on there, oops. I just figured they were really drawing out the suspense there for the old slow satisfying release. That sounded awful. Right, okay, so let's do that. There we go, let's drop it. It seems to actually be coming this time, which is always a good thing. And ta-da! We are in. So, let's see, what do we get in the box first? So I'm assuming like a little Type-C cable, so it comes in this kind of nice recyclable box again, which is quite a nice little touch from them. Then wrapped up in this lovely little plastic, a non-recyclable thing, but oh, what on earth? Okay, so USB Type-C cable, these are not. I mean, maybe kind of new inserts for this thing. Let's pop it open then, shall we? What else do we get? Kind of insert, and then some instructions. So let's pop all of that stuff aside. Get on to the good stuff. Okay, so here we go. So pull both of these to expand it. Ooh, a little sticker on there. Just pop that off, just for. Here we go. So you pull these up to expand it, and then this plate comes out. Ooh. Hello, there's like a sticker in the middle here as well, so let's get rid of that. There we go. Okay, so as you can see there, it kind of pulls apart like so. And that's again because it's all expandable, so that way, depending on what type of iPhone you've got, you can then kind of stretch it all the way out. Now inside of here, so yeah, you've got your sort of like rubberized grips, so I'm assuming these are like replacement ones of those. Or adapters, I guess, maybe to make it smaller. No, just pop that aside. There we go, okay, and on this side here, you've got obviously your lightning cable. But one thing that's quite nice actually about this is it's got the bit here, so obviously with your iPhone speakers, they're down towards the bottom. Now on this bit, and hopefully you can see that on the camera, it's got these like grooves that are cut obviously on either side of the lightning cable. And with these grooves here on the front, obviously it means that the kind of speakers go off, it pushes the volume out through the front, so that way it becomes like front firing speakers, which is quite a nice little touch. So in terms of button feel, let's have a look. So D-pad feels okay. I mean, there's a decent amount of click to it. It does feel a little bit mushy. Yeah, kind of thumbsticks actually feel really good. A lot of the thumbsticks we've tried on different like retro type consoles and also different gamepads we've used have felt quite poor. This feels actually really good. Decent kind of movements, not sticking to a side or anything. Buttons, again, they feel okay. So your D-pad and then obviously your normal buttons feel okay, but they're not the best that I've used. And then you sort of like select home, feel okay, decent amount of click, loud. I know you're not going to kind of be bashing them like that, but they are pretty loud. Your normal buttons aren't there, so not too much to worry about. And then spacing of your triggers, I would prefer a trigger for your L2 and R2, but I kind of get it. If you're going to be using it as a like a mobile device, which it's intended to be used for, then it makes sense that they're not like that. Feels pretty sturdy and well made, no complaints there. Okay, and one final thing to note before we get on with the kind of plugging in a phone into this, you also have a, I assume, lightning cable port. Yep, so lightning port on there as well for charging, which is pretty handy. So again, you don't have to worry about having multiple accessories. It doesn't include any extra cables, so you'll be able to plug that in and then use it for charging. So one of the great things about this is it powers using the iPhone. So that way you don't have to worry about keeping this charged, but if you were doing like a longer gaming session, for example, you can have your iPhone plugged into this, plug in your lightning cable there, and then that'll charge your iPhone as well, so you won't run out of batteries, which is obviously always a nice little handy thing. Okay, so I've got my iPhone 11 Pro Max here, so we'll plug that into the controller and see what it's like. Now, one thing just to bear in mind, if you are somebody who uses your iPhone with a case, you will need to take it off, because unless you have like an incredibly thin case, even then I don't think it's going to work, because this is quite tight to it. So you do need to take your case off, so that is one thing worth noting. Not the biggest thing in the world, but just something to bear in mind. Okay, there we go, so that's all plugged in. So on this side here, actually, it feels nice and sturdy over here, obviously where the lightning cable's plugged in. Less sturdy on the left hand side, because obviously it's just resting around it. I don't know if there's any way to tighten it or something like that. But it feels relatively comfortable. It's very Switch-esque, so if you use a Nintendo Switch or a Switch Lite, it feels very much like that. You've got this big screen in the middle here. Let's just see, can you do anything with the phone when it's going? So interestingly enough, so I can, when you're using something like Google Stadia like I am at the moment, you can navigate the menu, kind of choose what game you want to play, load up a game and just get going there. Everything works kind of as you'd expect it to. However, if I am in the iOS home screen, you can't control anything. Now, I kind of expect that when you're actually just in the general home screen, but then if I go into like the settings application, for example, you can't scroll through anything on there. Not the end of the day, because it's not too cumbersome to use like that, but it's just something worthwhile, again, bearing in mind that you do need to be in one of your gaming applications to be able to use it. Let's have a look and just see how it responds and gets an idea for that. Ooh. Okay, so let's load up a little bit of Resident Evil 7, get an idea of kind of how well this responds. So we're very much used to using an Xbox One controller, which has like a little clip connected via Bluetooth. It's always been a pretty good experience using Google Stadia, using it that way. But I'll be very interested to see how much of a difference it actually makes using a controller that's just plugged in. Yeah, so it's hard to say, just because I've always found that the Bluetooth experience using something like the Xbox controller has always been pretty good on the likes of Google Stadia. I would say it definitely feels a little bit more snappy, so like when I kind of use my analog sticks there, it is turning pretty much instantly, which is quite nice. So yeah, it definitely seems to have made a bit of a difference there. Not the hugest difference, and I'll definitely be sure to test it out with something like xCloud and also GeForce Now, and we'll do some more detailed videos about how this can improve things like your cloud gaming, or whether or not it even does improve cloud gaming. So make sure you subscribe for that. But I've got to say, overall, I'm really impressed with the quality of it. It feels pretty solid. It's not massively heavy either, so bear in mind this is paired up with a iPhone 11 Pro Max, which is already a pretty big and hefty device, but it doesn't really add too much weight to it. My only complaint, I would say, is this sort of like left-hand side doesn't feel quite as sturdy as the right-hand side. But actually, once you kind of sat using it like that, it doesn't make too much of a difference. So it's not that cumbersome. But I've got to say, it's relatively slim, relatively light. You could definitely, obviously, kind of pops off like so. And then it's got these sort of like kind of pegs on the back there, so it all clips back in nicely together and becomes a relatively small and compact thing that you can throw away in your bag. So actually really impressed with that so far. So that's it for our unboxing and first impressions. Like I said, first impressions, really like the build quality, it looks good, feels good, relatively lightweight, and the buttons all feel pretty damned good. Analog sticks feel fantastic. The D-pad and just your general buttons feel a little bit mushy, but for the most part, it's a pretty good little solid device. We'll be sure to bring our full review in the next couple of weeks and also do a lot of testing with cloud gaming as well. So be sure to hit the like and subscribe button. If you've got any questions about this, by all means throw them down in the comments below and we'll do our best to answer those as we go along. But in the meantime, stay safe and we'll see you soon. Bye.